Blog Talk Radio.
Let me make this an absolute fact. The goal is world peace. That must be our prime responsibility. We are the leader of the free world whether we want to be or not, and therefore we are the only ones that can preserve the peace. And to do that, we must have strength. Meeting this mission is responsibility for preserving the peace, which I believe is a responsibility peculiar to our country, that we...
Walk into this room at your own risk, because it leads to the future. Not a future that will be, but one that might be. This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one. It has patterned itself after every dictator who has ever planted the ripping imprint of a boot on the pages of history since the beginning of time. It has refinements, technological advances, and a more sophisticated approach the destruction of human freedom. But like every one of the super-states that preceded it, it has one iron rule. Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed.
I appeared before the Congressional Committee to tell what I knew of activities which I believe might lead to an attempt to set up a fascist dictatorship.
A part of that plan, of course, is to induce the gradual surrender of American sovereignty, piece by piece and step by step, to various international organizations, of which the United Nations is the outstanding but far from the only example. The consequent willingness of the American people to allow the steps of appeasement by our government, which amount to a piecemeal surrender of the rest of the free world and of the United States itself.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision the UN standard.
I had planned another closing message, but I feel compelled to say what I'm about to say. Now, I risk sounding like a conspiracy theorist.
All right, everybody. Joseph Gibson podcasting worldwide, 8:04 p.m. on the East Coast here, blogtalkradio.com/Joseph Gibson. Don't pay attention to the chat rooms. It's just filled with a bunch of nonsense anyway. All right. And, of course, if you missed the last show that we did do, it was Tuesday night. We did coincide, simulcast, podcasted with forthepeople.com and with Republic Radio 101. That was a great show. Of course, the ending of the show, we took over live and, of course, got to the calls and got some show suggestions, actually. And one of the shows that one caller did mention was talking about the prison, the mass incarceration, the America's prison industrial complex, talking about the prisons across America and the mass incarceration. And basically all of us at one time or another are going to have some sort of confrontation with law enforcement, be being locked up, kidnapped, paying child support, whatever have you. The numbers don't lie. It's actually about 89% of us in society, one way or another, born after the year of 1985, will have an 89% chance of having some sort of negative conflict with law, the law, your criminal government, whether it be, like I said, through a seatbelt ticket, getting pulled over, being arrested, whether or not you're told to breathe at a certain time, whatever have you, protesting, whatever it is. So that's very interesting. So that's a show we need to examine very soon. And the people in the chat room there, yeah, you guys are just, as always, I mean, the fans that I have, they are absolutely loyal. They have nothing to offer that is positive, and that's the fan base I have out there in the chat room. Now, whether or not I have callers out there that want to share here tonight for the status of our republic for which it stands right now, you're more than welcome at 657-383-0616. Press the number 1, and I don't screen calls. I'll put you on live. We'll do the best we can here to, weed out the idiots. And for the people out there putting my address out there in the chat room, look, I don't care. I mean, that's good for you. I thought we went over this with Dr. Peter Ventura. I really don't care. I don't care. Do whatever you're going to do. This isn't a phony show. This isn't an acting job. This isn't Tony Gaga, Tony Talk. This is Blog Talk Radio. And until I can find another forum where we can bring the message across and probably in the old. And that's what these people are mostly out there. But the status of our republic, folks, it's very, very concerning right now, is that we have people out there, we have messages out there, we have a group of patriots out there that are tired. We're angry. We're upset, right? Aren't we all? We're upset, and it's time to start taking action. Now, what action should we take? Now, of course, I always promote the lawful action to do things. I don't want to see anybody do anything that's violent. I cannot say that on this show, to go out and advocate violence and whatnot. But at the same time, we must obey the Constitution, and we must follow the Constitution and law in order to a point to where, what does the Constitution actually say? And that's where I leave it up to you, the callers. It's up to you. What course of action do we need to take to fix our economy, restore our republic basically lawfully? How do we do that? Because right now we have governors out there across the country telling you people that are listening right now tonight, go to hell. Do whatever you're going to do. You know what? You ain't going to do nothing. Yell at a bunch of empty office buildings, and I've heard that quote 1,000 times now. I think I invented that one. That's what they're doing, yelling at empty offices, protesting with their guns in their hand, and yelling at a bunch of doorways. And then you have 5 state police in Michigan there, standing guard of an empty office, and all the protesters are yelling at them and shouting at them, and these guys just want to go home to their families. They don't care. I'm not angry. They're just standing guard. All you had to do was push them off to the side. They probably wouldn't have done nothing, because guess what? Behind door number 1 would be what? Empty office, lights off. Behind door number 2, empty office, lights off. So the governor wasn't there. He wasn't standing there behind the desk shaking in his boots because some militia guys in Michigan were standing there with their AR-15s ready to yell at him. And that's about what they were going to do, and nothing happened. Because the government's going to do whatever they're going to do, point blank, and you're not going to stop them. As from what I could tell right now, you're not going to stop them, and nobody's going to stop it. So your protests have done nothing. at all, except make your name be put on a list. Oh, there's that person right there. Or even some of you have been arrested in North Carolina here. I've invited the Reopen North Carolina groups many times on this show, and, of course, none of them have come on. Why? Because, they want a voice. They want to be known, they claim. I say, hey, come on to my podcast. They're nowhere to be found. But they're on social media, though, debating with you left and right, aren't they? The keyboard warriors. But they're nowhere to be found. They don't come on to no podcast show that's archived, which you can replay over and over. I give you permission to play it over. Post it to your Facebook page, post it to your Twitter account, LinkedIn, whatever. And they're not here to talk. I mean, we've had people come on here and talk, but not from any of these social media posts or social media groups, because it's all fake. It's all nonsense. Who are you to believe out there anymore? This is George Orwell's 1984 happening right before your very eyes, and a lot of us don't remember what we were taught years ago. And I'm not talking about the Patriots from 10 years ago. I'm not talking about the Patriots from 15 years ago. I'm not even talking about the Patriots from 20 years ago. I'm talking about before that. We've been told this was going to happen. We were told how this was going to play out. Now, this flu virus thing was pretty freaking smart, how they played it off. What has happened here? I mean, what is this flu virus? Does anyone know what this flu virus is? What is it? I mean, are there mass casualties out there? Does everyone, they got family members that are, collapsing, dying on these ventilators? Remember all these ventilators? It was such a big thing. The president of this corporation had to get up there and demonstrate this plastic box in front of everybody with this plastic tube that was made in China, by the way, about these ventilators. And then we had this big ship off the coast of New York that was, sitting there waiting. And what did they have, 23 patients tops? And come on, man. Are you that stupid out there that you're falling for this? I mean, you obviously are, because most of these people in the chat room here, they're about as dumb as they come. I mean, this is what we have out there. What are we going to do? Well, how can we restore our republic? Is there a hope? Is there a chance? What can we do? Well, one person called in here weeks ago, said we lack leadership. Well, who's willing to take that leadership role out there and say, hey, all right, guys, well, that guy's going to have to freaking hide the mountain someplace in a cave, because he's going to have 7 feds that are his best friends trying to entice him to buy a sawed-off shotgun so he could be arrested and thrown in a federal prison for 20 years. So, who's going to take the leadership role? Who can? What are we going to do? Go to the courthouse and file paperwork? Yeah, quid pro, quon, quasi, this, quack, General Statute 97-89. Yeah, right. That's not going to work either. Been proven, not going to work. Remember, there was a caller on this queue. Remember when Obama was president? There was a guy sitting in front of the post office. I think there was Connecticut that mentioned it. There was a guy sitting in front of the Meriden, Connecticut post office with a desk or table with a big sign saying "Impeach Obama." And this is during his last year, by the way, as president. We're going to impeach him. Donate here. Donate. Drop your 6 cents in this cardboard box. Come on, man. He ain't going to impeach. He really got impeached, didn't he? Come on. And he wasn't even a United States citizen, supposedly. And what happened with that? Nothing. What happened to the Tea Party movement? I remember being in meetings with them here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Yeah, Tea Party Nation. Remember that website, anybody out there? Tea Party Nation. Remember that? I got kicked out of there real quick. Yeah, they blocked me, kicked me out, banned me. Get him out of there. Oh, I like this candidate. I like Santorum. I like Romney. Yeah. Where'd that get to, Tea Party Nation? Where are you at, Tea Party Nation? Where are those freshman Republicans at, by the way? Where are those freshman Republicans that were going to make a difference, the Tea Party Nation? Nowhere. So what has the Tea Party done for you lately? Nothing. It was a waste of time. A big waste of time. I'm tired of wasting time. It's time for action. It's time a call for action. It's time. The time is now. The time is now to restore our republic lawfully, and we have the means to do it, but we need the numbers. Stop worrying about your baby. Stop worrying about your shiny new car. Stop worrying about the foreclosure in your house, and focus like a laser beam. Like that great patriot Aaron Russo said, focus like a laser beam. Follow the money. Attack the money. The Federal Reserve. End the Fed. The Federal Reserve banking cartel. Go after them. focus like a laser beam on the Fed. Only them, even if it's not what we're supposed to do. Focus on them. The bankers, the money changers. Go after them first. I'm not saying ignore all the other issues. I'm saying go after them first. Everybody unite your powers to be, whatever you have, whatever papers you have, whatever it may be. Focus like a laser beam on one thing. Because they have us out there selling lemonade in one corner, selling cookies in another, and marching to the Pope in another. So you know what? We're all divided. We don't know where the hell we're going. And then meanwhile, they're arresting, snatching up salon owners in Texas. And you know what? Now that woman's a rich woman. She had $500,000 in her GoFundMe page. I want to follow that story, folks. I want to follow that Texas salon owner. I want to follow that story every single show. I want to update on what she's doing and how she's fighting and what's going on. I'm making that a point of this show from this day forward. I want to follow that woman. And I'm not attacking her. I'm just saying I want to follow her. She got $500,000 in a GoFundMe page as of this morning. I want to follow her, and I want to follow her salon and see what she is doing in the Patriot movement and how she's progressing and how she's moving forward, because she was so willing to go to jail. And God bless her if that's true. Amen. But I want an update. Every single week I want to talk about that. Salon owner in Texas. We're going to make her a martyr. She wanted to be a martyr? Well, she's a martyr. So I want to know about her and what she's doing every single show. If there's something new, what's going on? Did she open up a new salon? Did she get arrested again? What's she doing for the Patriot Network? I want her. I want to know about her. Everything about her. She got $500,000, like I said. So she's well off right now. She got out, I think, on Thursday. The judge released her, I think. That right? Am I wrong? I don't know. Maybe somebody can call in here. Let me know. Last I heard, she was in jail. So Texas is big. Everything is done big in Texas. Well, Texas hold 'em. Well, I want to know Texas. All right? I want to know about this. Let's make an example of something that probably isn't true. Right here, live on my show, Understanding the Times in Which We Live Today. If it's true, then, hey, I'm all for it. I'll promote it. But I want to know about it each and every single show I do. Simple as that. All right, let's open up the phone lines here. We'll open up the phone lines tonight. All you have to do is press the number 1. You need to call in, 657-383-0616. Press the number 1, and we will get you on the show live, unscreened, uncensored. And I have to open up the floor first because I don't know who I got here on the call queue here tonight. Could be a bunch of idiots. 419. Let's go. That's the gentleman there. I'm going to give him the floor for a few minutes and let him open up. I know who this caller is. Go ahead, 419. Go ahead.
Hey, good evening, Joe. This is the Common
All
Man,
right.
and I hear you out there. And the main thing that I would like to discuss is the prison system, as you were saying, the prison system. Most of these people in here in the prison system have done harm to no one. No one's dead, no one's beaten, no one's molested, but yet everyone's footing the bill for, pretty much what we're doing is we're taking people who were basically homeless and desperate, and the richer people are making a lot of money off of them, like those senators that have stock in the private prison industry systems. They're making a killing off of us. This money is coming right out of our taxes, right into their damn pocket. It's only like 16 cents per man for the 3 meals per day. And also they get medical, dental, and every damn thing else. They get it. And they're putting the bill on us with this absurd reason that we actually need to be saved from people that are in prison. It's a crock of bull, and they've been doing this forever. And actually, it hit the minority populations first. It has turned out that now every damn body is being picked up and sauntered off into these human enslavement camps, actually just chicken farms. They're farming us, and we're laying eggs better than the average Rhode Island Red. Every time we drop an egg, that's another $100 in a senator's pocket who has an investment, and they have interest in the stock of private prisons, state prisons, penitentiaries. They've done this. If you check out the post with Dharma Okema, he knows about it, and he's put it out there, and the media has covered it up, that your senators in the state have been doing this as just a matter of practice. And then they come down with another order, put some kind of rule into effect to whereas you can go to jail just for exercising your right to pee on a tree, and now you're a sexual offender and doing 12 years for peeing on a bush. But who's paying for it and who's making money off of it? That's the whole thing, which is just really just so insidious. And then they'll put fame and fortune and fear into the media that we have to have this because it's absolutely necessary for your safety, which is absolutely necessary for their bottom line. And people have to wake up and start figuring this out, that they're putting people in jail just for the profit margin. No other reason, just another way to scam you out of some money. It's the biggest pyramid scheme on the planet, bar none. That's why America has the highest prison population in the world.
Mark, I got people right now that say people that are in prison deserve to be in there. I mean, how ignorant can you be to make a statement like that? The people that have been kidnapped that are in prison today, it is absolutely disgusting. I say free those young men and women. Free them today, all of them. I would say all of them need to be freed, because if they're in there for the length of time they are, even if it's for a crime that supposedly was a crime at one time, they need to be freed, point blank, end of story. Let them go. Let them go.
Yeah.
Like Moses said, let my people go.
Exactly. It's become a for-profit business. There's nothing about law, justice, or order that's going on there. And they've just stated that. If some person has broken into a store now during this COVID-19, they're not coming unless there's a dead body there. They're not arresting anybody. So it's pretty much open season on everything that you got, long as you don't hurt anybody. So everything you have up for grabs. And your senators and congressmen, they don't give a damn. And let's face it, they need you to find out who the hell committed the crime. The first thing they ask you, what can you tell us? And then they
look at this. What do you think about this
guy?
What do you think about this guy? This big story there about this guy that was jogging that got gunned down. I mean, this guy got freaking snatched up and gunned down. Obviously, they're making it into a gun issue, which they shouldn't. But this guy got, obviously they're turning into a racial issue too, which is totally nonsense.
Exactly.
It's a fact of the matter is that this guy that was, jogging, and, because he looked into a window at a construction site, he was probably jogging and said, "Oh, look at that house! Wow!" I've done it before. I've pulled up to places when years ago or whatever, whenever. It doesn't matter. And say, "Wow, look at that house! That's pretty nice," and looked at it. So I should be hunted down and murdered? No, of course not. The man should have received justice, but they're spinning it, and the man's not going to get justice. And that's the problem that we're having right now, because you're having all these other groups out there, these black party groups out there that are spinning it, which they shouldn't. This is in Savannah, Georgia, actually. And the thing with it is, though, it's wrong what happened. I mean, the guy was obviously murdered. I mean, what a shame. Terrible that you're, it's disgusting that this happens. But I don't think it was a racial thing at all. I mean, I don't know. What's your take on that?
It was the brainwashing of the mainstream media, making, the guy that did the murder and his son, obviously they were on the same page through this damn mind control bull crap that they've been feeding into. And these people actually thought they were patriots and doing the right thing, and we got to go kill this guy because that's our American way of doing things. Bull and Smith & Wesson is making a killing because now everybody's in uproar. What about the angry natives? They're going to come and break in at any time. Go buy more weapons and use them against each other instead of the ones that's taking your money. How much of freaking morons are we going to be?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm getting attacked right now. And we've got a lot of the racists here in the chat room, actually. You know, a lot of them there. Jessico's out there. He's one of those guys. I'm a coon lover. What's a coon? I don't even know what the hell a coon is. You know, and coon lover. You know, that's nonsense. Yeah, you know, they're like a turd also. You know, whoever calls himself a turd, I don't know why he's so proud of himself calling himself that. But, you know, the fact of the matter is that it was a crime that did happen, and this happens, though, every day. And the thing of it is they single out one story, though, and they make it this fanatical thing, this hyped-up story where, you know, it's all like the Trayvon Martin case and everything else. They pick out one story and they use it against us to divide us as a people instead of uniting us as a people. That's what we should be doing. Is we should be united as a people, but we're being divided. That's the problem, really.
Yeah, it's an entire nation of chickens and parrots. Chickens and parrots. They peck up the little bit that's thrown from the big man's table, and they parrot whatever the hell that rich man says. And they do it over and over and over. And MSNBC should have lost their job because all it takes is one dumbass to spread a dumbass story, and these damn parrots and chicken heads, they read every data, every one that they see, and then they go around talking about, I'm going to tell you this, but don't tell anybody else. But they done told everybody in the nation. What saps? And as far as your buddy Jessica with his stuff, I wouldn't mind talking to that fella.
Yeah, he's most likely he's a coward. I don't think he'd take any challenge, but he has stuck to his points, though. I mean, he's a separatist. He believes that we should have the right to choose to live with whoever we want to live with. That's what he said on my show. I'm not putting words in his mouth. We should be able to choose. So that means if I moved into a neighborhood and I saw that, you know, there were 8 white families and 4 black families, I should be able to tell those black families to get out because I want to choose to only live with white families. I mean, how would you go about this, Jesco? How would you separate the people? I mean, I don't get it. You know, because in today's society, you cannot choose who you want to be associated with. People are people. You are here, and these people are here with you, and these people are here with you, and those people are here with you, and that's the way it is, and there's nothing you're going to do to change it. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, well,
I think Jesco maybe realized that, but, you know, that's just the way it is.
You know, Joe, it goes without saying, there are gated communities that are accustomed to denying different racially divided people in those gated communities due to finances and whatnot, be due to the owner's choice of who he rents to or whatnot. It's sanctioned. It's done. You don't have the money to get in there because you don't have the money to get in there.
You can't pay the damn taxes every year. Yeah, you can't pay the road association or whatever, so you can't pay, the neighborhood association fees and the homeowners association fees. So therefore, you have your communities that are predominantly black and one side of town predominantly white. But there are mixed communities. But the problem is that Jessica thinks that we should have, you know, that. But entertaining these racial thoughts is only feeding into the narrative of this propaganda out there. And the real propaganda that we need to be paying attention to is Uncle Sam. Uncle Scam, the scammer,
definitely.
You know, Uncle Scammer out there, because we've been lied to. Yeah. We've been shook and took, and the fact of the matter is this government has lied to you. Hey, and how about anybody get a stimulus check out there? I didn't get no damn stimulus check. I think that was another big fat lie right there. You know, I didn't get one in the mail. So what's going on with that? I mean, you know,
a lot of people have gotten that stimulus check, and it's like, wow, you know, and all is cool with that because we have been hindered through, you know, the right and the liberties that the Constitution says. So they just went ahead and just shut the Constitution off like it was a light switch. You can have it, click, okay, we're taking it back. Click, lights on, smoke them if you got them. Click, you know, it don't work that way. Put mask on. You can take your mask off now. And
for people out there that aren't paying attention, and a lot of people don't know, you're absolutely right. Well, the Federal Reserve, I believe, did target me and not give me my stimulus check, and maybe I should call the Federal Reserve here tonight and ask them what happened with that, because I believe they said, you know, the Federal Reserve obviously hates my guts, and they've said that openly on my show. But you know, the fact of the matter is that you know, you don't have to file taxes because the treasurer, who's the puppet, the Federal Reserve, the United States Treasury Department, you know, the bitch that gets up there in front of the microphone with the eagle in front of it, you know, the bitch for the Federal Reserve, you know, that, you know, just like you all. You know, he got up there and he said, don't worry, if you don't have a checking account, you didn't pay your taxes, they will find you. They will find you. They know where you live. So you will get a check in the mail. Yes, you'll get a check in the mail by April 24th. Yes, you'll get a check in the mail. That's what he said. I'm not going to play it back for everybody. That's what he said. So you'll get a check for $1,200 in the mail. That's what he said. So the fact of the matter is everybody didn't get it. So obviously, just like the small business loans out there, not everybody got them. And as a matter of fact, the corporation sucked half of that money up right away within the first 24 hours. And they were even talking about that on your corporate news media. So you mom and pop shops out there that got paid, that think you got paid, you didn't really, because guess what? They're coming after you next year, and you will have to report that because they'll switch that around. They'll create another law in their House bill such and such in the future, and you'll have to report that, and you'll have to pay a fee or a penalty tax on that. You know, they got so much crap for you folks, you don't even know it. The fact of the matter is that they're coming out with their mark of the beast, and it's coming your way, but we don't have to get into that tonight. But, Mark, I want to leave you on the line. I got a couple other callers here. We'll see what happens with them. Because like I said, I didn't really have any planned show here tonight. So let's see what happens. We'll go with the first private caller. Go ahead.
Outstanding.
Hey, Joe, it's Mike. I called in about the private prisons last week, and thank you for doing a show on this topic.
Yeah, I'm not doing the show tonight on the topic, but I did announce it here tonight, and probably the next show I'd like to talk about it. But if you'd like to expound upon that, that'd be great. And tell us what we need to address, or who I should call, maybe put them on Front Street here about the prisons. That would be a great idea. I think calling some of these prisons live, and maybe get some guests on here. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Thank you for bringing this important discussion and putting it on your platform. A private prison or for-profit prison is a place where people are imprisoned by a third party that is contracted by a government agency, first of all. And the stocks of the two biggest private prison operators, CoreCivic, formerly known as Corrections Corp of America, GEO Group, have doubled since Trump was elected. CoreCivic is up 140%, and GEO Group has risen to 98%. And so for all the talk about how good Trump has been for the big banks like Goldman Sachs, he's been even better for private prison investors. And let me say that again. Private prison investors. Those people, and hey, I get the other side of the argument. We need prisons. There are people that need to be in prison. I agree with that 100%. But we've got some guys in there, myself included, I might share a couple of my stories, that, we don't need that many people in prison. You got 28% higher rate of inmate-on-inmate assaults in these private places, 2 times the amount of staff assaults, 2 times the weapons, anal rape, escapes, riots, beatings, inmate death, and,
can I jump in here for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
As far as this anal rapes and all of this stuff, there's 2 gay guys for every guy in the penitentiary. So I don't exactly see all of this beat down and rape going on in the penitentiary.
Well, what it is the gay guys. The gay guys. Hang on, Mark. Actually, the homosexual guys actually are sometimes attacked themselves in these prisons. Am I correct or wrong, caller?
You're correct.
I'm sorry. I missed that last point.
So they're sometimes attacked themselves, and that's the problem we're having. Is that, that these private prisons are taking advantage of these situations. I mean, look, If you're a homosexual
Yeah.
and you're placed out in general population and you're out there with these freaking gangbangers and everything, you're taken advantage of. So we can't deny that, and that's wrong. It's not the way it should be.
And you've got young men, it's their first time in there, and they're thrown in one of these private prisons that don't have good guards, and they are not the provocateur. They are just a man who's trying to do his time, and you have these, excuse my language, fucking bullies that are preying on people, and now you're in a situation where you are not the provocateur, but you've got to sharpen a toothbrush to try to stab somebody to defend yourself. And I want to tell
and then
you
catch another 4 years, and then you catch another 4 years, then you catch another 4 years in prison, and now you're a career criminal according to the system. So the system is broken.
So I'd like to bring this to the forefront that you were talking about career bullies. We're out here with a bunch of career bullies. They're called your local PD, career bullies, and they put you in there with minor bullies because all they want to do is eat. The rest of them are taking money from your family to feed theirs. That's what bullies do. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I want to read a report. I want to read a report right here by it appeared in the Wesley and Argus spotlight here. The existence and expansion of private prisons are by no means the only things wrong with our criminal justice system, a system marked by racism, corruption, and inhumane treatment. Yet there is something particularly alarming about the idea of a company working to put more people in prison for the express purpose profiting off them. Excuse me. So that right there, the profiting and profiteering of human lives to be in prison is something that needs to be exposed, and why people are not talking about it is something that I think that's what this caller wanted me to address. Am I wrong or right?
People making money off it. They want those bodies in there because they are private prison investors, underlying investors. They're making money off keeping guys in there. And I just wanted to share my story. And you'll get a kick out of this. So my buddy was drunk. Basically, his old lady dumped him, et cetera, et cetera. He was yelling and screaming. The guys that we got into it with we didn't know who they were. We were young men. They were adults. And my friend was drunk, yelling, screaming. They told basically to shut the F up, and my friend went nuts. They got into a fight. Well, then their buddy jumped in, so I sort of jumped in. Bottom line is this. When the cops showed up, me and my buddy went and got locked up. Those guys walked away. Didn't find out till court. Those guys were prison guards. Hey, gee, why did the cops let them go?
Oh, you picked the wrong ones to mess with there, buddy.
No,
shit, you're in trouble now.
I'm telling you, it gets even deeper because the cop that arrested us in court, testified and went along with their whole story and buried my ass. And I want to tell you something now. I'm out, and I want you to hear this. You hear this? That's a beer cracking open right now, and I'm talking about freedom. I got my Harley sitting out front of the roaster. I've had a couple beers. I was not the provocateur of that whole altercation, yet I paid the penalty. And while I was in one of these, and I won't say exactly where I was or what my beefs are with all the other guards and groups of races of people, but I saw a guard get stabbed, and we all got sprayed with mace. I wasn't involved with that, but I had to pay the price. The first fight I got in there, I won easily, made a little bit of a rep for myself. The second fight, those bastards snuck up on me when I was on the shitter, and I got stabbed and kept fighting. Didn't feel it till later. That's a true story. And I took the knife away from him and stabbed him, and I got more time. And there was blood and a little shit everywhere. It was vulgar and disgusting. But I did get more time. I was buried in the first place by our fucking corrupt system. Excuse my language. Better take a drink of beer here. But I was not the provocateur. When that cop and those guards lied in court, I said, no. And the judge came down on me even harder because I realized at that point as a young man that I'm up against a whole system. and you can't hold back the tide of this whole crooked system. Thank you for bringing this to everyone's attention, and I appreciate your time today, sir.
Yeah,
Hey,
we're going to do a whole
to
show. We're going to do a whole show on it in the future, trust me.
Go
ahead, Mark, go ahead.
Okay, my time started out about 30 years ago. I was put in one penitentiary for a robbery that I did. I'm guilty. I started finding out how many innocent people were actually getting locked up. I became a prison attorney. I started getting people out of prison on simple motions. Every day I was getting people out. Every 6 months, 3 or 4 people were going home. So what did the people do that were running the prisons? They started moving me from prison to prison to prison, hoping that I'd stop. That didn't work so well. So when I got back to Marion, Ohio, I filed, me and Albert B. Caruso filed Mark A. Johnson versus all 88 counties of Ohio. Not only that, but a few other things in Cleveland, Columbus. We had outside clientele that was paying us big money to represent them in court. We didn't go to court. We just sent the motions into the court and had them hand-delivered. They didn't like that too much. So before I went to jail, I was an officer at Lima Correction. So since they couldn't beat me at the legal game, guess what they did? They tried to have me killed. They sent me right back to the prison that I worked at. Now, if that's not some dirty shit, I'll eat your hat and coat. Only thing was, by the time I got back to Lima Corrections, my name was well known. You better not even say boo to me on the yard, or a lot of people was going to stomp your ass. So I kind of got out early. They threw my ass out of prison because they couldn't stop me. They couldn't fucking stop me. But the thing is, the shit went all the way to the United States Supreme Court, and it stayed there. The United States Court is listed under Brad and Dunn Street, and they buried that case so fucking deep, you will need a microscope to find it. Your states, your counties, and this United States Corporation of America are a bunch of greedy, dirty bastards who need to be taken out back and shot. I'm done, Joe.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right. Well, all right. Let's see here. Well, we got another private caller here. Let's go ahead, take the next private caller, see what they got to say. They probably might want to play music. I don't know. Go ahead, private caller. Go ahead. You pressed one, private caller. Go ahead. All right. Obviously, all right. Crank call. Next caller. Go ahead. Caller. Go ahead. Caller. Go ahead. All right. I mean, why do you want to waste time and make noises? I just don't get it. I'm giving you a chance here to talk, and you want to make noises. This makes no sense. As far as Ashley in the chat room, knock it off. All right, with your nonsense. All right, we know who you are, and what you're all about. Okay. Let's see here. We'll go down the line here, and if not, we'll continue on with the look. The real problem that we're trying to face here is the status of our republic. I'm willing to give anyone the floor here tonight, uninterrupted to speak. The usual people, they know who they are, and they want the floor in here. Talk about some substance, or bring other people on and have a conversation to the podcast. This is your show to do so. I don't have any guests scheduled here for tonight. You got to remember, I did touch upon the show that I did on Tuesday. That was obviously a show that has a format with forthepeople.com and Republic 101. So let's see here. Press the number 1 if you want to get on here uninterrupted. Let me scroll up and down. I got a lot of private callers, so I'll just take them one by one and see what happens. Go ahead, private caller. Bridget. All right. Hang up on you. Next private caller. Go ahead. No, you're not interested, private caller? Okay, that's fine. Next private caller. All right. There we go. All right, that's the guy that called me. Dr. Peter Ventura. There you go. Get him off there. All right. Okay, everybody, we got a bunch of private callers on here tonight. Obviously, they have nothing of substance to share. So someone from a real number, an area code or something, at least try to call in, maybe talk about something of some substance to, bring something of importance to the show here tonight. You're more than welcome to call in. The phone number is 657-383-0616. Press number 1. I'll get you on the phone line. Obviously, I'm having complications as always, but that was a great show topic that talking about the prison industrial complex and private prisons. Private prisons is a very serious issue that we do need to discuss and talk about because that last caller, well, not the last caller, but a few callers ago, brought up the interesting topic of private prisons and wants me to do a show on that. So what I'll try to do is line up real callers that will participate, for a show of that magnitude. But everyone, the phone number is...
What's so sad?
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
What's so sad is our republic is in bad shape because we're in the throes of a subprime lending institute that don't give a damn about us. They'll borrow money, and borrow more money, charge it to our account, and make us pay it back in taxes. Then they won't even pay the loan back. That's why we're $29 billion in debt. It's $147
But are we really in debt?
trillion.
What is the debt? Are we really in debt? Are we really in debt? Or is it just felonious numbers? It's just digits.
$147 trillion in debt. And that $29 trillion in debt that we only see is the 29 years that our government has not been paying what they freaking owe. So, subprime lending institutions doing terrible. Oh, we've done the figures.
That's a possibility. That is a possibility.
Yeah.
That really is a possibility. Again, anyone press number 1 you want to join in the conversation here tonight, or possibly, and again, to the shows that we did on the other night there, the Republic show where we did forthepeople.com. We do that on Tuesday night, 6:30 p.m. on the East Coast time, and it's a very great show. forthepeople.com and Republic 101 Radio. We do a great show on there. All right, I got somebody from the state of Connecticut here who wants to call in, so we'll go ahead and maybe they want to offer something or topic here that we could talk about, and the status of our republic. I mean, what is the status of our country? I mean, surely by the reflection of this show, if this is the status of our country, we're in big trouble. That is for sure. Go ahead, 203.
Yeah, somebody from Meriden, Connecticut. I'm not in the chat room anymore. It's too much to deal with in there with all those morons. I just thought I'd pop in here and say hello. And Mark has some good ideas there, and he's absolutely right, basically, from everything he says. But, you started off good, and what are you going to do? You're not going to win. Stay away from these people because you're not going to win. I mean, like you said, they're at the Capitol in Michigan, and they're screaming at empty rooms, and that's probably the case because they don't care. They know they're coming. They're screaming at empty rooms, and they're never going to get anywhere. So I've been saying it for a long time, and of course, what do I know? I know jack shit, and his brothers and his sisters, You stay away from these people. You watch the news, pay attention to what they're going to do, and get the hell out of their way. And one of the best things you can do is you can take away their money. Start bartering. There must be people out there that know how to push a pen, that know something about law. Let them file the documents. Let them take care of the law. Let them do the research. This is what they supposedly love, And I hear them touting everything all the time on these podcasts. They're taking away our rights, and this is what we're going to do, and that's not right, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, but nothing ever happens. So get into the bartering business.
I had that conversation. If you don't mind me interrupting. I had that conversation.
Take away their tax revenue. Yeah, take away their tax revenue.
Yeah.
Somebody that has acres of land. You've got to know somebody. I'm sure you can find somebody that can run a sawmill. Somebody that can make concrete. You must know a mason. You must know an electrician and a plumber. You know what? It would cost basically jack shit to build yourself a house instead of paying a bank 30 goddamn years and miss one payment and they take everything back. That's what we need to do as people. We need to get by wonderfully without this government. Take away their tax revenue. Stop giving them your labor. That's what we need to do. And it could start just as easily with every community could have a local grand jury. So what if it doesn't mean anything if you convict somebody? You know what? It'll surely hell wake a lot of people up and scare the crap out of a lot of people too, especially when that person that was convicted starts walking down the street and the neighbors come out and they start maybe, you know what, throwing rocks at them. But do it nicely though. You don't want to do it to hurt anybody. You know what I mean. You know, so get together as people. Learn how to build houses. There's land. Learn how to repair your friend's car instead of spending $1,000 and $60 in taxes pissed away to your government. You know, give your friend a $400 or $500 bill. You know what? He'll be happy too. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, hang on. I had this conversation. But hang on, Mark. I had a conversation with someone I knew earlier actually about that, and he's like, well, you know, why are we worried about the things of the world? You know, we're not going to change it. There's nothing we can do about it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So why try to stop it? Why not just live our lives, live a good life? And now this individual obviously was I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he's on tonight or not. So I don't want to say his name and put his name out there. But it's a man of that preaches. He preaches the gospel, and he says, you know, hey, you know, my job is to go out there and preach the gospel and win souls over to God, and that's my way of changing the world. Well, that's all well and fine, and his way isn't going out there protesting or worrying about, you know, whether or not the one government's going to get overthrown and whatnot. So that what you brought up there, that conversation is get out of their way. That's what this person told me too, but he wants to do it in a different way. His way is, well, you know, let's preach the gospel. But what happens when they say the gospel is outlawed? What happens when they shut down the churches? What happens when they say, hey, you're going to preach this message or you're going to be arrested? What does that man of God do then? Does he just bow down and say, okay?
You pay no attention to him if you do it my way, because the church is not a building that you go to. The church is where you are, and if he's there with you, then that's your church.
All right. Well,
I'd like to jump in here, Joe, with a public service announcement. Since there's a big food emergency, there is industry in Indiana, and they're selling hogs live for, you were talking about bartering and whatnot. The hogs are 50 cents a pound. $140 will get you like a 280-something pound pig. You got to dress it out yourself, though, but hey, at 50 cents a pound, what the hell? Get two. But
if you're a Muslim,
if we had somebody that could do that, we'd be in great shape, because I know somebody that can run a sawmill and wire a house.
Yeah, but if you're a Muslim, you can't eat that. You know.
I work the hell out of the chainsaw. We need to get together.
There you go.
I damn sure work a chainsaw, and we need to get together, sir. Hey, join us on the Zoom channel, 931-487-5206, code 121212. And come on, let's talk and let's reason together and get our republic back.
And land is cheap.
Hang on a second. All right, hang on. Get our republic back. Okay. Now we're talking about that very issue. And people are saying, no, get out of their way. Just live your life. Do your best. You know what? Let's talk to people that can know how to rebuild cars. Let's talk to people who know how to win souls over to Christ and whatnot. You know what? But when the government is tyrannical, when they start stepping over their bounds and they step on your individual rights and your liberties, who are we to say, hey, let's just get out of their way? Well, that's great. That's all well and fine. You know what? My neighbor to the left got arrested. Okay, glad it wasn't me. My neighbor to my right got arrested. Oh, glad it wasn't me. And now they're coming for me. Who do I yell for help to? Because all my neighbors are gone. Because I was like, hey, you know what? Just stay out of their way. Just stay out of their way. Get out of their way. Let them do whatever they're going to do. Did the Jews in Nazi Germany, boy, they did a good job, too, staying out of the SS's way, didn't they? You know, hey, it's okay. You know, let's give out work assignments today. Then tomorrow we go to the gas chamber.
taking that literally to the final step, and that's not what I mean, and I don't know if that's what anybody else means by get out of their way to let them come and take you. What I mean is do something like I said. Land is cheap. You could probably buy 300 or 400 or 500 acres for a zippity squat somewhere around here. And you know what? If you have 100 families living there with 400 people, I doubt if they're even going to come bother you because they don't even know where the hell you are. And if they do come bother you in a place like that, there's only going to be 2 or 3 of them, and there's 400 or 500 of you.
Well, David Koresh thought that when he bought that compound in Waco, Texas, and look what happened. How many people died that day in Waco? How many? Over 100, right? I mean, they came in there and just slaughtered them, So he thought that too. We could have our own little family and do our own little thing, and not obey the government and just live our lives, right? And what happened to Randy Weaver when he moved his family up to Idaho on the mountaintop?
I didn't say disobey the government, but you don't have to do what they say either.
You're going to do what they say.
Once again, Joe, I'd like to state to the gentleman, if you get that piece of land, I will help you cultivate it for absolutely free. My name is Mark Johnson. I'm the common man, and I'm with you. Let's get her done. Come to the Zoom channel.
You see that? I've been on there with you, Mark. This is Bitbanker.
All right. Well, there you go. You guys connected. Yep. All right. Well, that's good. Okay, you guys want to create your own private community, but what happens when the government says no? I want to take the next call. You guys think about that for a minute. What happens when the government says no? You can no longer. You know what? Yeah. Well, the government says no. Guess what? You're taking a microchip in your right hand. That's what you're going to buy and sell with. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Well, maybe you should have listened to maybe we should have listened to the militia groups that were out here weeks ago or months ago or years ago that said, hey, let's take it to their ass now and arrest these bastards and let's start this freaking thing.
I've been listening for 65 years and nothing's happened. It's only gotten worse.
Well, I know nothing's happened. I know because we have people out there saying, hey, get out of their way. I don't know. Let's take another caller.
We always got an excuse why we don't do anything. Well, now's not the time. Well, let's wait and see what Trump does. Wait till you see what he does. Everything's going to be free. You know what? Nothing changes. It just gets worse. It's time to do something. Anything at all.
Yeah. Well, there are people out there listening. You're right. And I let me take the next caller, 210. Hang on, 210. Go ahead. Hang on, Mark, 210.
Hey, Joe. I was in prison about 5 years ago, and the only thing I left with was anal warts.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, do you know of any kind of a treatment for that, or?
Well, I can't help you there. If I were you, I'd see your local medical doctor for that. But anal warts, that's the only thing you're left with. So you didn't get rehabilitated at all?
No, there was a preacher that kept coming in. His name was Peter Ventura.
No. Yep. Yeah, I know. Already starting that nonsense.
Lots of people fix their problems like that with a shotgun. You could try that.
Yeah. Sip on a shotgun. Yep, 12 gauge. Best one. Try that one. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. I mean, obviously you're a disgusting individual to call into this radio show to take away from a productive conversation, to talk about something sick and perverted. That's what your sick society is out there. And maybe the people that I do talk to that say get out of their way, they're right. Your society is not worth saving. Maybe you deserve your new world order. Maybe you deserve it. You deserve what's coming your way. Because I think that's pretty disgusting, sir, what you just did. 619, go ahead. Go ahead, 619.
Good evening. This is Dr. Peter Paul Ventura from Imperial Beach.
Oh, God. No, you're not, Doctor. I'm not going to entertain you. You're not Dr. Peter Paul Ventura. You're not. 619, you're not. Stop. Why are you doing this? Why are you constantly calling into my show pretending to be Dr. Peter Ventura? Why? What is your problem? What is wrong with you? Why are you so fascinated with some preacher that you make fun of and you want to make a jerk out of? Why? What is wrong with you? 619-728-3712. That is your phone number you're calling in from. 619-728-3712. And it's a spoofed number, which you're breaking the law. I don't know how you're getting away with this. I mean, I just don't understand it. Why are you wasting my time? I don't get it. 321. Go ahead.
So I also had an issue with bowels. I haven't had a solid bowel
Oh
movement.
God! Yeah, he spoofed this guy. He's calling. And this is what I'm talking about. How do these guys spoof their number and get away with? Why is Blog Talk not pursuing this? Why is Blog Talk Radio allowing this to happen?
I can tell you why.
That's what I want to know. Yeah, I want to know why. Why?
Over the course of the last month or month and a half or whatever, Blog Talk puts advertisements up there how you can get 50% off and how you can sign up for their service. Well, I was corresponding with Madeline about that very subject.
Oh, boy.
And their only reply is a canned response that they don't care, they're not going to do anything, and if you have a problem with another user, we suggest you straighten it out with that user yourself.
Really? I'd like to see that, right?
Exactly.
So they're
they
advocating.
Don't care.
So are they advocating violence? Are they advocating violence?
Well, in my opinion,
you could construe it that way.
Say,
you could construe it that way.
I would say so. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So Blog Talk Radio, Madeline. If you're listening,
yes.
Madeline, the founder of Blog Talk Radio, or someone that's supposedly in charge, probably not even a real woman. There's probably no such thing as a Madeline. It's just some Pinterest, photo. Have you ever go to those Pinterest things? It's all, it's probably some fake photo. And Blog Talk Radio is probably the FBI. They're probably the government. They're probably
correct.
The damn government. Right? I mean, that's what I would think, because I can't get any damn message across here without getting harassed by these scumbags. And you call the FBI and you notify them, and they don't want nothing to do with it. You call the FCC, Blog Talk Radio, well, they actually help us out with the Patriot Act. I'm not supposed to tell you that. Hang on. They actually help us out with that. And we got all their names. Don't worry about it, Joe. Don't worry. We're watching you too. Don't worry. Yeah, right? Right, guys? Right?
Yeah.
Because you're probably all working for Homeland Security anyway, aren't you? Come on, Blog Talk Radio. Come on. Where are you, Blog Talk Radio? Call in. I want Blog Talk Radio to call into my show. You're worse than the Federal Reserve. Unbelievable. 571. Go ahead.
96 Twist Street, Meriden, Connecticut.
Oh, God.
As far as the Federal Reserve, you notice that Trump turned that over to the Treasury now, and the Treasury is in charge of everything?
Yeah. The Treasury, yep. I know. It's all one big fat lie. It is. It's one big fat lie. And the Federal Reserve has attacked my show. That's what's going on here. The Federal Reserve has attacked my show. That's what they've done.
Well,
the Federal Reserve has attacked my show.
Every other faggot and homosexual and queer deviant out there, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, every devil, I mean, we did a good show the other night. We had Pastor Godinez on here and Dr. Peter Ventura, actually. And Pastor Godinez preached a good lesson, and Dr. Peter, I mean, you missed it, actually. The last half hour, Dr. Peter Ventura ripped these guys. I mean, he just totally destroyed them. Like, told them who they were, what they were all about. And it's like, it just, they shrugged it off. It was like it meant nothing to them. And I really think,
But I have something that'll get our jollies up. This is a story. True story. And all these queers, homosexuals, faggots, and whatever they're called, they're going to love this story. Oh, man, if they still got their pants on, they'll probably be off by the time I'm done. But I'll tell you, I was out walking in the woods one day. This is a true story, and it goes to what you were talking about. And I was out in the woods. And I'm an avid coffee drinker. I always have been. I mean, lots of coffee. 10, 12, 15, 20 cups before I leave and go anywhere. And, I drink coffee all day long. I was out in the woods, and I had to take a piss. And I'm in the woods. So I was going over this bridge, and I had to take a leak. So here I am taking a leak off this bridge. And let me tell you something, that water was cold, too. But in any event, the next thing I know, I finished doing what I'm doing. And the ranger shows up. I got arrested for pissing in the woods. Imagine that.
That is a true story.
Evidently, one of these queers or homos must have been out there, and they would have said, they must have said, you know what, we don't like the looks of that, so we're going to report it. And they did, and the ranger came out, you know, Ranger Andy with Yogi Bear. I got a ticket for pissing in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah, and you will. And you will, because of these faggots and homos out there that you know, and that's what they are. And the thing is, these guys are going to run with that story now in the chat room. I mean, they're like posting like 1,000 different IP addresses right now. You know, I mean, it's crazy. You know,
they do. We're talking about. You know, if I wanted to get them, they'd be long gone.
Oh, I know that. We all know that. You know, they don't understand. The fact of the matter is, they don't know. And like you said about Blog Talk Radio, it's really, really, really a sad website for hosting a podcast show. It really is. And I'm saying that as a host of this show. I'm saying that as a host. It's a sad, disgusting site. Because you're absolutely right. I mean, I could read you the messages I get from them when I report things.
It's actually worse than the Democratic Party.
Yeah, yeah. It actually is worse than Democratic Party. You're absolutely correct. Madeline and who's the other one now?
Because at least you can get lies out of them.
Katarina's with Maryland now, by the way. They're back Monday, they say.
Aren't they physical distancing too, or are they working in the same office?
Yeah, but the thing of it is, though, well, I would like to know where their photos come from. I'd like to know, inspect the element and their image, their photo image, you know, because I'd like to know where their photos originate from. Who really? I mean, because obviously that's not Madeline, and Madeline's really not in charge of Blog Talk Radio. I mean, that's quite clear by now. You know, I mean, it's hilarious. It's just hilarious. Blog Talk Radio is a spoof joke.
She could be the janitor like me.
She could be a janitor.
Yeah, you never know. Could be Tony Talk.
Yeah. You ever notice that Tony Talk's always got the most chatters in his chat room, and they're all the same people. There's they all, you know, the same user has 17 different profile names.
No,
you know.
You're right. It is the same person 7 times.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's hilarious. It really is. Tony Talk, God's Rainbow Ministries, all these shows are the most popular. But the thing of it is, though, is why is my show popular? Because what they're doing is they're attacking me, harassing me, calling me, making fun of my friends, and doing what they do. And that's what Blog Talk Radio does. And the thing of it is, it's got to be a crime what they're doing. It has to be. And I'm wondering if there's an attorney general out there, if there's an attornay general that would like to take down Blog Talk Radio. If there is an attorney general out there.
We need people that know how to push a pen, that know the laws. What you need to do is latch onto their houses, to their cars, and their paychecks when they go back to work, and that's what you need to do, because that's what it's all about. It's all about the money.
No, hang on. Yeah, I know. I understand. That's what I'm trying to get at, though. Is there a pro bono lawyer out there? Is there an attorney general, a local attorney general in any state? Because Blog Talk Radio has all these states and everything and these phone numbers that they use, and what they do is they do commit crime. They spoof caller IDs. They harass people. They put even child pornography up on their freaking chat room. Child pornography up on their chat rooms. So I'm wondering, is there a news reporter out there, like from some news agency, that would like to report on this? Man, I've got so many downloads of my shows, so many user profiles and names of people and characters that I'd love to talk to you about. I'll spill it all. I'll tell it all.
The way things go with child pornography, and the way it's always been since the very beginning of the Internet, especially with AOL, that's how they got their start on the Internet with child pornography. They don't go after the people that post it. They go after the people that download it, because it's probably there to entice the people that they want to get.
And that's what they're doing. Yeah, and Mark, isn't that the truth? Because that's what Blog Talk Radio is doing, is they're enticing these people to commit a crime, and then they're locking them up to do what, Mark? Lock these people up and create more beds to be filled in the prisons.
And make us pay for it.
That's right.
Yeah. So, Blog Talk Radio really, I mean, look at this guy. I got this guy, Joe Gibson. Look, I got this guy, Joe Gibson. He sends me this private message, right? He's sending me this private message. He's got, it's a green face, right? It looks like Yoda or something. I don't know what it is. But it says Joe Gibson, IP 75.191.96.221. Bitbanker, IP 68.9.70.169. That's what he sends me at 2100.05. That's what he sends me. You know?
Well,
so Blog Talk uses military time.
Maybe he's got a little bit of knowledge. He can do those things. Good for him. What I would do if I was him is I'd research that and I'd go after my income. That's what I would do because you know what? When I get tired of their bullshit, that's what I'm going to do to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, they're saying I'm admitting defeat right now. They're saying Joe's show is taken over. Joe's show is taken over by trolls. He's admitting it. His only caller is his daddy.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
No, what we're going to do is we're going to have more pastors come on the show.
Members in here participating somehow. I don't know why, but you know.
Well, we're going to get more pastors to come on here.
Plug in for our platform.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Also.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to put another plug in for Life, Truth, Law, and Unity. Come to the Zoom network. Let's all get together. Let's figure this out peaceably. Let's figure this out. Let's take action together. Let's move and let's save our republic. It's the only home we got. And for all of those cops out there that are violating the constitutional rights of American citizens, you have to live somewhere. It won't be in this country. So take that to heart because I really mean that.
Yeah, they're not our heroes. They're not our heroes. They are not our heroes. That we do, you know, they are not, and that is one thing for sure. Yeah, they're not our heroes. They're
and robbers.
That's right. That's right. And press the number one, folks, if you want to join in the conversation here tonight. Yeah, that's right. And listen, Mark, hang on. 657-383-0616. What's the status of our republic? I mean, we're here trying to find solutions. We're exposing Blog Talk Radio for what it really is, which is child pornography, racketeering, a place that's trying to attack Joe Gibson. And you're not going to win. I'm not going anywhere. I sleep very well at night. I live a happy life, a very happy life. I'm in good shape. I'm not fat. Matter of fact, I was on Zoom last night, so I did one of the rare moments of where I go on camera live. So I'm in very good shape. So you don't have to look at my Facebook photo and make stories up about that. I'm in very good shape. I'm okay. Don't worry about it. All right. But so you're not getting me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm healthy. I'm happy. And the people in Blog Talk Radio, you're not going to destroy me. You're not. So get over it. And so I think I pissed them off somewhere down the line. Do you think it was with the Federal Reserve? I think it was with the Federal Reserve, actually. I really do. I think it was with, I think the Federal Reserve really pissed them off. I think, that's what really happened. I think, that's what really started this, because it all started way back then, with the Federal Reserve. And when I called them and everything, and really, I'm not doing anything wrong, because it says on the website, call the Federal Reserve. Answer all your questions, and and ask, and that's what I want. That's all I did, folks. So if you're upset with me, Federal Reserve banking cartel, the banking cartels out there, I'm really sorry. And so let me call the Federal Reserve and ask them what's going on with my stimulus check. I never got it. I mean, that's a viable question, right?
We need a new form of currency, Joe. And I have just the thing. We need a
I don't want to. But that's up to Congress, though. That's up to Congress, though. The Federal Reserve is just doing what the government allows them to do.
Marijuana that people can trade, and people will accept that as currency, and you can buy whatever the hell you want with it.
That's true.
That hog would do me good.
All right, just everyone stay quiet for a minute. Let me just see what's going on here. Let me call the Federal Reserve banking cartels here. I want to ask about my stimulus check. I never got it. Now, let's see if I can get somebody here. I mean, I should call them, I think.
Thank you for calling the Federal Reserve Consumer Help. En español, oprima el uno. If you are calling
they tell you to go online, don't call.
A direct deposit transaction, please be informed. The Federal Reserve Consumer Help has no information on individual direct deposits. Your financial institution will need to contact the Federal Reserve directly for information involving specific transactions. If you are calling about an account you believe you have with the Federal Reserve Bank, please select option 3. All other callers remain on the line.
Okay. I do have a question.
Calls may be monitored or recorded for quality purposes.
Our hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Time, and we are closed at this time. If you would like to hear answers to frequently asked questions or more about the...
well. Sorry, folks. I couldn't get it live. Somebody from the Federal Reserve. Sorry. And trust me, I had some great questions. Sorry. Well, I tried, but that was the Federal Reserve. We'll get them next time. All right, we'll get them on next time. And I did have some serious questions, and I'm going to follow the instruction of what the recording says. I promise you that. So the Federal Reserve Banking Cartel, the banking cartel of the Federal Reserve, whatever you want to call it, the private entity that owns you, that owns you. Yeah. I want to get them back on here and, find out what's going on with my stimulus check. I never got it. My stimulus check. Man, I want my stimulus check. What's wrong with that? I want my 1,200 Federal Reserve notes. I want them. Why not? Everybody, we need money to survive, right? I can't go out there with an ounce of gold and go pull up to my local gas station and say, here's an ounce of silver. I want to buy gas. The freaking clerk will look at me with 3 heads, like I got 3 heads. And if I keep pushing it, she'll call the sheriff and have me arrested. I'll be in a funny farm. So, I want my stimulus check, man. I need Federal Reserve notes. I need them. Help me out, Federal Reserve. Print some for me, please. I will be your biggest advocate. Yeah, why not? Where's the militias at? Where are the people out there fighting for me? They don't call into my show. Maybe I can get the Federal Reserve on my side. Maybe I need to join up with the Federal Reserve, right? We can print money together. Hey, I can open up a printing press in my garage. Why not? As long as they give me, I could be a Federal Reserve Board of Governor. I can open up my own bank. You could come and deposit money in my own bank, and I could recreate it, fractional reserve it, 30 times over, 100 times over, 1,000 times over, and all the old women can walk in. There's Joe. He hangs on to my money. He's my hero. And I can have a 401k, I can have a retirement money, and I can be pissing it away, trading it to Russia, China, and buying troops in India and buying arms. I could have all kinds of things going on at my bank that, you don't know about with your money. You could work hard all week long, 48 hours, 60 hours, and you can come in and deposit your paycheck at my bank, and I'll recreate it 1,000 times over. Why not? And you could, why not? I will have fun doing it. And I'll take your money that you worked for, that I recreated 1,000 times over, I'll lend it out to other people. Yeah, at interest. I could put it at 10%, 30%. Hey, who knows? Everyone's going to take a loan. They'll sign their life away. They don't care. And I'll lend it to them. Your money that you worked for, the dumb slave. Yep, the dumb slave. Just make sure you go vote. This year, vote Democrat. Yeah, vote Democrat. Trump didn't do it for you, so vote Democrat. Yep. Biden, I think he's going to step down because, he was, with that sexual assault case. I don't know. But Trump or Biden? Let's see. Let's flip a coin. Hang on. Let's flip a coin. Heads, Trump. Tails, Biden. What do you think? I voted on Tuesday, everybody.
It's a double-headed coin.
I'm just a stupid slave. Oh, dang it. Why'd you tell him? Darn it. I was trying to freaking, it was rigged. We know it's rigged. But you weren't supposed to tell him that. Because, the election was going to be like 50.2% to 49.9%. We're going to have to do a recount. And Florida will be that one state again. That one state, Florida.
Oh, wait a minute. Just prior to the election, Hillary was the forecasted winner, 99-point-something% that she was going to win. And she lost to somebody who couldn't win.
And she got two other, she managed to get the 2 delegates. The super delegates, by the way. They're super delegates. That's it. That's how she beat Bernie, the super delegates. Oh, that's right. Don't forget the super delegates that nobody knows about, right? But the sheep love it,
Double
though,
secret
right?
delegate.
Yeah. Don't talk about those super delegates. Then, if I were me, I'd go down to the county board of elections and try to run for office. You need 25,000 million signatures, sir. Well, wait a second. There's only 1,300 people in my county. Doesn't matter. You need 25,000 signatures in your county. Wait a second. There's only 13,000 in my county. Doesn't matter. You don't run for office. And by the way, if you do get in, if you do get those signatures and we're too tired to check them, you're going to have to pay $25,000 to get your name on the ballot. Yeah. That's how it is here in North Carolina. That's how it is here. Where's it at where you're at? I gotta pay $2,000 just to get my name on the ballot. Man, I got $2,000 in a freaking gift to the freaking criminals, man. I'm here trying to freaking survive like everybody else. And I want to run for public office? Ain't gonna happen. And I can't get the sheep out there to do anything because they're getting drunk tonight. You know, they're too busy at those jobs. They're too busy at those jobs, just over broke. They're going out to dinner at the Olive Garden, spending $90. You know, they ain't going to give me no money. And then you got people killing each other over a freaking $20 crack rock at Martin Luther King Drive. Getting ready to do 90 years in prison. Good job, slaves. Good job. Keep fighting. Keep up the good work. Save our republic. And then the people that are really important in the movement, you know, the militia groups out there, the guy, the highest commander guy, what do they call themselves, the colonel or whatever? That guy's working for the FBI. He reports the FBI wing.
Speaking of Martin Luther King Drive, when we were down there, we met those people, that Gibson guy that has those 3 kids and a wife that needs a place to live. I'm thinking about giving him a call.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about giving him a call and telling him I have something for him.
There you go. There you go.
He seemed like a nice guy. I mean, you could tell he was strung out and everything like that. But I don't have to live with him.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Well, he could have worked too hard. What do I know?
He's on OxyContin.
Well, OxyContin, oxymoron doesn't make any difference.
I don't know where he gets them from, though. He must have a doctor.
I don't know. I may have a place for him to live, though. I'm going to see if I can dig up his name and number.
There you go. There you go. Hey, folks. The fact of the matter is, like I've been talking about, America's been shook and took, and you're with it. So until you want to wake up and stand up and fight back, and I'm not talking about going to your local courthouse and filing I'm going to file paperwork. Yeah, I'm going to go to a quorum, and I'm going to file paperwork. Hang on, let me file this lawsuit here with this Section 1983 U.S.C. v. and quid pro quo po. I'm traveling, not driving. I don't need a driver's license. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. I'm not wearing a seatbelt either. I'm not going to do that. And when they pull me over, I'm going to wait for the guys from the Republic to save me. I'll be sitting in a jail cell waiting. Hey, look, the Republic said they're showing up. I don't need a driver's license. I don't need a seatbelt. I'm traveling. Yeah, all right, sure, whatever. Fact of the matter is, guys, go to work, be a good boy, and wake up and go to work every day, and have a little fun on the weekend if you want to have your beer and everything, but don't get in trouble. And just obey your masters. Obey. You will obey your criminal masters. You will. And look, they're coming for the guns soon. Yes, you're going to have to turn them in. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you, folks. You're going to have to turn them in. And you will. Yes, you will. You will register them. And they're already registered, actually. But, you will turn them in. Yes, you will. Because I already know you will, because you can march up and down the streets all day long shouting, pro-Second Amendment, yeah, Trump, make America great again. Fact of the matter is, they're coming for your guns, and nobody can stop them. Nobody can stop them. Come on, everybody, where are you?
We can start. There was a General Che in China. He was head of the defense from 1993 to 2003, and right around 2003, 2005, he gave a 4-hour speech to the China people. You should look it up. Chi wasn't his last name. I think Chi was his first name, and of course all those names you can't pronounce anyway, even if you can read them. But he gave a 4-hour speech to the China people about taking over the United States. And it would do you good. The rest of these people here could give two shits, really. So I'm not telling them, but it would do you good to see if you can look it up and read his speech, because you'd see maybe what's going on now and the way our government is acting.
What do you think about this Epstein guy? I remember you told me a story about the Epstein guy. The guy's in prison and they turn off the cameras. The cameras have been rolling all these years, and all of a sudden, whatever happened to that, by the way? Did those prison guards ever get dealt with? I mean, what happened to this guy Epstein, remember? He was like this multi-billionaire.
I think you had Tony Buck in there, spoofing his caller ID, crashing into the prison system, turning the cameras off so that Turd Ferguson could get in there and do what he had to do.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, what's up, Mark?
I have a little something sick for you. Take a look at your message board, and this will be
I
those
seen it.
looking for their freedoms.
Yeah, I seen it. I know. Well, the thing of it is that.
But that would be a little bit.
Lots of people get freedom by jumping off the George Washington Bridge. Maybe they should try it.
Yeah, look, the fact of the matter is that you don't have any freedom. You have whatever you got right now today, and you have it granted by your government. It's granted by your government. And anytime these people with the blue lights and the Christmas lights on their car want to pull you over and take you down, look, you could fight back. I mean, what happened to all the stories out there that you see what happens when people fight back? The suspect was killed. He was shot 39 times. If you want to go out like that, you want to get killed, hey, go right ahead, And how many police officers died in their trans? One officer was injured. He fell down and scraped his knee. Come on, guys. You're not winning. You're losing. You're losing.
That's the truth. And it's only going to get worse.
It's only going to get worse, exactly. So the movement is not winning. We're not going anywhere. We're not getting anywhere, and nobody's restoring nothing. Fact. Okay?
Yeah.
Fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not yet.
Nobody's
we're waiting. Oh, we got some
Nobody's restoring anything. Even the figures coming from the hospitals and everything are so convoluted and wrong the way they do it. You can't believe anything either.
Exactly. Like this woman that got arrested down in Texas, right? Supposedly she's in jail. She's all over the news, right? She opened up a salon. I'm talking to people on social media, and they're saying, we're going there. We're going to guard her shop. We're going to make sure she doesn't go to jail. And all of a sudden, the next day, I see she's in jail. She got arrested. I'm like, what happened to you?
The way they twist it, if you're going down in your car and you get in a car accident, and you get out of your car after the accident, somebody shoots you. They say you died of a car accident. That's what they're doing with this virus. The same difference.
I think that's what my show is going to be about from now on.
Shot.
I think that's what my show is going to be about from now on. The Republic that never was. Star Wars.
Like my point when I say stay out of their way, I don't mean stick your head up your ass. I don't mean stick your head up your ass and pay no attention. That's why that Jessica's got some good points. He may be twisted and everything, like all of us, all the rest of us. We're all twisted too, but he's got some good points.
Yeah, Jessica does. You're absolutely right. Stay out of their way because nobody's going to do nothing. They're not going to do anything. And that's it. Right. Knock it off. And he's pretty open, the women and everything, about the women issues and everything. And he's right about what's going on in our country. Look, man, the fact of the matter is, shut up and stay out of their way. I kind of got that point now, the NSM, they're going to be on here later on tonight, the National Socialist Movement there, and these guys, Bert and everything, he's on there. He does a great show. You should see the wackos that call into his show, and, I don't know what the deal is with them. They're doing the same thing. They're probably half FBI, too, like the Klan and all the other groups out there, look, man, ain't no one going to do nothing. Antifa, they're the only real winners out there, and even them, they're the government employees. So, what are you going to do?
And you're absolutely right.
Yeah, the Republic that never was.
In bed with them, and this is where everybody comes.
Yeah, this is where they all come. Yeah, Blog Talk Radio is a part of this thing. Blog Talk Radio, this probably is an FBI hosted platform. No lie. They're probably they're probably using me like a sucker.
Joint Terrorism Task Force. This is where they get all their information from.
Yeah. You want to learn? Yeah. You want to be? You're a student. This is where they go when you go into the academy for the police force. Go to Blog Talk Radio.
You're working from home now, so listen for 3 weeks.
Blog Talk Maryland. Yeah, listen, I got the help thing up here on my studio screen, right? Maryland. I've written so many complaints to her. Sorry, we're not here. We'll be back on Monday. And then finally I get an email like 2:30 in the afternoon when I don't check my email, by the way, when I'm nowhere near my computer. Hi, how you doing, Mr. Gibson? Thank you for contacting Blog Talk Radio. Can you please take a screenshot of that? Yeah.
There you go. Exactly right. Instead of them answering the question, they always turn it around and give you something to do.
Yeah. I already provided them with all the information, all the users that were threatening me on my call board. Is this a crime, ma'am? They're threatening to come kill me. Thank you, sir, for contacting Blog Talk Radio. And meanwhile, they're sucking that $40 every month off my credit card. Same day.
Stop saying that. Watch how quick they get in touch with you.
Oh, well, they'll shut down your computer screen. That's it. Bump, that's it. You no longer. They say you could lose your phone number, too. They threaten you with that. I remember I shut down my show for like 6 months. I had the same phone number for 6 months. It's a lie. Another lie. You're going to lose your call. How do they get these phone numbers? Where do they get them from? I mean, are these like locked up numbers that nobody can use anymore? I mean, what's up with that?
I think they just make them up.
Caller here. Another
private caller. The callers you have calling, and they just make them up.
Good night, private caller. Understanding the times in which you live today. What's the matter? Did we pull everybody's card here tonight? Go ahead. No, you don't want to keep. No, nothing to talk about, huh? All right, private caller. Thanks. He's probably saying, damn, nothing to talk about. He's right. We work for Homeland Security. Oh, boy. Yep, they're probably thanking me up and down. They're like, man, you did get some good ones in there, and we came and arrested them, too. I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't trying to set you up for real. I was really didn't believe this thing was, like, true. I mean, we were going to try to get out there and save the Republic, understanding the times in which you live today. Yeah, we understand them all right. Oh, boy, let me tell you. What a great show tonight, let me tell you. Welcome to our Republic. The Republic, it's really a Star Wars movie. This is how the Republic ends. I mean, it's a movie. It's all a big lie.
Well, no.
I
we
got my own
160.
family wanting to kill me because of this shit.
Well, we got 160,000 indictments that they're working on.
Yeah, underground people. We're taking over the Federal Reserve. Remember that one? Yeah, they seized the Federal Reserve. The Patriots are in control. Oh boy, Donald Trump. Yeah, he's sending subliminal messages. Donald Trump don't know what the hell's going on. They can't stand that guy. He's fighting for his life, for God's sake. Stormy Daniels waiting around the corner. Donald Trump don't give a crap, man. He's here for 8 years and he's going to retire and that's it. He's going to end up like Ronald Reagan, talking to an empty microphone.
He's already retired. Wait a minute, this is his retirement. That's why he does it.
Yeah, listen, the last great president you had was JFK, and they blew his head right off his shoulder.
I heard that Bill Gates' father was a Nazi. I hear Bill Gates' father was a Nazi.
Oh, yeah, Bill Gates. Well, Bill Gates, come on. I mean, where does he live, Bill Gates? Come on. Does anyone know where Bill Gates lives? I mean, he's the most hated criminal on earth so far. Where does he live, by the way? Does anyone know?
Like the kid said in school, he lives at home.
You can find me, but you can't find him. I mean, he's the most famous guy on planet Earth, though.
But let Mark chime in there. He's been yelling from the back.
Oh, you guys are doing good. Just want more people to come to the Zoom room. Let's figure this out. Let's plan and then get up and stand.
Stand up and then get knocked over. Get tripped and knocked over. You know what? The Republic is lost. You know what? I think the best advice is what Jessica did give and a lot of other people. You know what? Don't believe anything what you see. Because half this crap is fake anyway. Nobody's taking your guns. Nobody's happening. Nothing's happening. I mean, what happened? I thought they were confiscating our guns. Remember that was happening like about a few months ago? Weren't they coming to kick our door down and take our guns? What happened to that? You know, I mean, what happened? I thought that like this was like a big thing. We're calling state police, and they're like, the state police are telling me, no, listen, ain't none of that gonna happen. And they're out there saying, no, Joe, you're wrong. This, you know, they're taking your guns. That's it. That's it. Listen, the fact of the matter is nothing's gonna change. Tomorrow's gonna be here. Now, are things getting worse? Yes. Is it gonna happen tomorrow? I don't know. Neither do you. And you know, is the devil out there? I don't know. I never met him, but is evil out there? Sure. There's bad things out there, but guess what? You're not gonna stop it. Nobody's out there. There's no George Washington. There's no Paul Revere anymore. And 10 guys are not going to take over the state capitol tomorrow morning, okay? Nobody's going to arrest the state capitol. Nobody's going to get within 500 yards of the governor, okay? It's not going to happen. And if you even talk about it on your cell phone, you'll be under arrest by tomorrow morning. They'll be kicking down your door, hauling you off in handcuffs. And you're going to be sitting in a concrete box talking about, can I call my lawyer? All right? That's what's going to happen. I need to call my wife, sir. I want to put some canteen money on my account. That's what's going to happen. Nobody's going to bust a grape in a fruit fight. Nothing's going to happen. The end is here. Like, look, George Carlin says it all the time. I mean, I played that like so many times. Maybe I need to play that at the end. It's a funny thing. Just listen to it. I mean, if anyone's got something new to share, by all means, message me. I'll get you on here. But, you know, George Carlin, I mean, be happy with what you got. Never going to get any better. Nothing's going to change. Be happy with what you got. Simple as that, right? I mean, it's only 5 minutes long. I mean, I know you got to watch your perverted videos and stuff, but here, let's listen to George Carlin. Come on.
Life is filled with interesting things. That's why I could never commit suicide. I'm having too much fun, keeping an eye on you folks, watching what you do, human behavior. That's what I like. Humans do some really interesting things. Like, besides killing ourselves, we also kill each other. Murder. And we're the only ones who do that, by the way. Humans are the only species on Earth that deliberately kills members of another species for personal gain. Or pleasure. Sometimes it's just fun. We're also the only species that deliberately kills members of another species for personal gain. Or pleasure. That's what hunters do. They kill for pleasure. That's us. Human beings. Interesting folks. Murderers. Here's an interesting form of murder we come up with. Assassination. You know what's interesting about assassination? Well, not only does it change those popularity polls in a big fucking hurry, but it's also interesting to notice who it is we assassinate. You ever notice who it is? Stop to think of who it is we kill. It's always people who've told us to live together in harmony and try to love one another. Jesus, Gandhi, Lincoln, John Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, John Lennon. They all said, try to live together peacefully. Bam! Apparently, we're not ready for that. Yeah, that's difficult behavior for us. Not too bright, folks, not too bright. But if you talk to one of them about this, if you isolate one of them, you sit them down rationally, and you talk to them about the low IQs and the dumb behavior and the bad decisions, right away they start talking about education. That's the big answer to everything. Education. They say we need more money for education. We need more books, more teachers, more classrooms, more schools. We need more testing for the kids. You say to them, well, you know, we've tried all of that, and the kids still can't pass the test. They say, oh, don't you worry about that. We're going to lower the passing grades. And that's what they do in a lot of these schools now. They lower the passing grades so more kids can pass. More kids pass, the school looks good, everybody's happy, the IQ of the country slips another 2 or 3 points, and pretty soon all you'll need to get into college is a pencil. Got a pencil? Get in there, it's physics. Then everyone wonders why 17 other countries graduate more scientists than we do. Education. Politicians know that word. They use it on you. Politicians have traditionally hidden behind 3 things: the flag, the Bible, and children. No child left behind. No child left behind. Oh, really? Well, it wasn't long ago you were talking about giving kids a head start. Head start, left behind. Someone's losing some ground here. But there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The big, the wealthy, the real owners, the big, wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. They're irrelevant. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets, and they own all the big media news, all the big media companies. So they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interests. That's right. You know something? They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs.
That's right. Just passively willing to accept all those jobs. And look, man, this is what it's all about. And people in the chat room, I could already see your reverse psychology. Well, why are you doing this show, Joe, if nothing's going to happen? No, I proved that this show proved to be a failure because the fact of the matter is that people out there are not going to do nothing. You're not going to bust a grape in a fruit fight. Days are over. The 80s are over. The 90s are over. The 2000s are over. Y2K is over and done with. Fact of the matter is you have your little entertainments on Blog Talk Radio, your perversion, and you Blog Talk trash out there hate me because I did do a show to try to wake people up, and you hate me for it, and that's okay because I will relinquish command. I say you're absolutely right. Nobody's going to wake up. The end is near. It's over. I agree. You're absolutely right. We're not going to change nothing. Be happy with what you got. Be happy with the times you have. And that's it. You know, it was a great run. It was. I've been trying to freaking do better things and have other platforms out there. But guess what? The government owns everything. There's nothing you could. I can't set up a freaking FM radio show. I can't get right. There's no way I can. I submitted my podcast to iHeartRadio. As soon as I do, guess what I got? I got Mendelcon calling in. F this, F that. I got Shabaka calling in. F you, F you, F you, F you, F you. It's not going to happen. I got to spend 3 hours in doing editing. And when I'm all done, said and done, I got 7 minutes of show. So iHeartRadio declines it. Look, because you guys all work for Blog Talk Radio. The Shabakas, the Mendelcons, everybody out there, all of you. You know what you're doing. Because what does somebody do? They tell you what they're going to do because I'm honest and I'm telling you what I'm going to do. Hey, I'm trying to get the show. I want to grow. I want to do this. I want to do that. Put it on YouTube. Bam, kicked off of YouTube. It's going to happen. It's all about that. I know that. Look with your phony pictures up there, your internet friends and all that. Radio gets what? What do I usually get out of this show? Tell me. I get about what? 2,500 downloads after a week. 2,500 because I post. Because remember, I got 5,000 friends on Facebook, so you figure you're going to get at least 500, 900, maybe 1,000 people to click on it there, right? I got another 2,000 on Twitter, so you're going to get another 300, 400 there to click on it, right? I got LinkedIn. I got 2 other social media sites with 500, 600 followers. So at the end of the week, what do I got? I got about 2,500 downloads, 2,500 listens, 2,500 out of one show. And if I do a really good show, I get something real popular, and I get a lot of people on there. I may get the most I ever got was 5,650 downloads, 5,650. So all right, so if I come out here every night and get 5,000 people to listen to my show, through a week's time, that's great. But guess what? I'm not making no money. I'm not getting no money from you. I'm paying $40 every month. What, for somebody to come in the chat room and criticize my kids and threaten me? And call me in the middle of the night, hey, Joe, tune into this show, tune into this. Is that what it's all about? What? Because nobody's rising up. The government, nothing's changing. I mean, we're losing our damn rights every single freaking day, more and more. I mean, nothing's changing. Nobody's rising up. I mean, for God's sake, I'm running for office here in North Carolina. Yeah, I got 900 signatures on a petition, but like I told you earlier, you need 10,000, which is totally impossible because there's not 10,000 registered voters in my county. The game is rigged. Like George Carlin just said, it's rigged. The game is rigged. But you people don't listen. You don't want to change nothing. It's not going to change, man. That's it. And no, I'm not storming the Capitol tomorrow. I'm not picking up no freaking 50 caliber machine gun and going out there hurting anybody, hurting innocent people, and going and chasing ghosts around the street. Because the governor's not there. He's not. I'm not going to get anywhere close to the governor or the president, and nor do I want to. Why? What would I do? What would I accomplish hurting the governor or the president? Nothing. Because there's another jackass like you out there. You people aren't going to change anything. You're not going to get together. You're not going to open up no popcorn stand away. You're marching. Reopen North Carolina. Yeah, click, click, handcuffs, click, click. And that's it. You're back on Facebook tomorrow morning. Talking junk. Nothing's going to change, man. It's over. It's shook. You took. It's done. Pay your freaking 50% taxes, or what is it, 59% now? All the taxes you got. You pay a sales tax, cigarette tax, gas tax, road tax, property owner tax. What? You're paying it, man. You're the dumb sheep out there that won't listen. We try to explain to you how money's created. You don't want to listen. You want to make fun of me? You want to call me a jerk? Hey, go ahead. Pay it. I'll get out of their way. Like the last caller said, I will get out of their way. I will continue to operate without them knowing, under the radar. I will live my life, and everyone get mad at me. How did you do that? How did you get away with it? Because I know about the system. I'm trying to wake you up, and you don't want to listen. Because I'm not really breaking any laws when you think about it. I just know how to get around the system. That's all. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, that's the way it is. No, I'm not going to live in a $1 million house. No, who the hell wants to? I don't want to pay freaking $10,000 a year in taxes for a house for half the rooms I'm never going to use. I'm happy in the house I live in. I sleep well at night. I got a nice, comfortable bed. Take a nice hot shower at night. Hey, I got a gym membership. I do my own thing. I'm happy. It's you people. You're the ones that's supposedly not happy. I see the news reports all the time. You're the ones not happy. And I'm out here sacrificing for you to wake you people up, and you're here threatening me, talking shit in my chat room. You know what? Go ahead. Have fun. Have at it. Simple as that. Ask you to call into my show, you ain't going to do nothing. Let's see here. I recognize this number here. Hang on. Oh, I think I got a good guest here. Go ahead. 203. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm the free governor of the state of California. I thought I'd call.
There you go.
Brother?
I'm doing all right. I think, finally that the advice that I've been given is finally paying off, maybe.
Well, I'll tell you what. Hello, Bit Banker. He's still out there?
He's still out there someplace.
Hi, Peter, right? Hi, Peter.
How you doing?
The same crap, different day. How about you? I hear you're close. That's good.
Oh, yeah. Yep, very. Yep, just waiting for things to cool off a little bit. And keep them busy. Got to put a roof on the thing. But
but nothing's going to cool off. I heard the economy's going to crash. The economy's going to crash, and what are we going to do,
I did. I took your advice. I bought gold and silver. I'm staking a mine out here. I got a mine I'm staking.
Listen to Glenn Beck. Buy gold and silver. What the hell am I going to do with all this gold and silver I stocked up on all these years? What am I going to do with it?
I got
buy none with it.
I got the 1995 mining guide here. I've been studying to find out where the rest of the gold's hidden up here.
There you go. Well, what's your take, though, on the program, all in all? I don't know how long you were listening. I saw where you pressed 1. What you think? I got a bunch of spoofed callers out there. I'm not even going to waste my time with them, because all they're going to do is call in and, and do nonsense.
Yeah, I've been listening. The best thing to do is pick a couple guests and have an intelligent conversation for an hour. And, and that's the best thing you can do. And if somebody comes in a chat room with something intelligent, then, use it. And if not, don't worry about it. You see Levin and those guys, or Levine, there's nobody calling in those programs. And they got intelligent people coming on in conversation, and they've got great ratings. You know why they got great ratings? Because intelligent people know that they could listen to the program, and they don't have to worry about some idiot calling in trying to be me. I'm Dr. Ventura. You ought to steal my identity. You'll see if you want to be me when the feds show up at your front door why you didn't register this month.
Right?
You freaking idiot.
Yeah.
I'm the real Dr. Ventura. You couldn't carry my shoes. Shut up. The real. You don't even know who the real one is. But
we're not even sure if we're talking to Peter right now.
The truth is, brother, that you really you have a good platform and you have an intelligent platform, and you have to use it intelligently. And I've been telling you that for a long time. I know you want to give guys a chance to come on and have a little controversy and discuss stuff. But the truth of the matter is what happens is that you get a bunch of guys that don't have anybody intelligent to talk to, and so they're going to come on and just harass and interrupt your program and try and discredit you. It's not jealousy, it's envy. You see, and envy, people die over envy. Envy will get you killed. They got Jesus Christ killed. They delivered him up for envy, not for jealousy. You see, jealousy is I want what you have, you see. Envy is I don't want what you have, and I don't want you to have it either, see. And so there's a difference. And these guys are very envious of you and your life and the success you're having. And so what I advise you to do from now on, tone the show take it a whole different direction. Continue with the people that come on, Bitbanker and even Leroy at times has had some decent things to say. And you can get some guys on here and you can have some decent conversations and run that. Listen, intelligent people will sit and listen to an intelligent conversation. It's
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Even Leroy, you're absolutely right. Even Leroy, he wanted to do shows about technology. I remember him telling me a few times. He's like, hey, let's do some shows about technology. Very smart with technology. So stuff like that. You're absolutely correct.
Even people with the problem is when these guys that have 4 minutes of intelligence, when they listen to the program and there's an intelligent conversation, their intelligence run out. So all they know how to do is act like a moron, and that's what they do because they can't add anything intelligent to the conversation. Most of them, if they had a higher IQ, they'd be plants, okay? If they had a thought, it'd be lonely. It wouldn't know how to find its way home, all right? So, and half of them live in houses that are so small that in order to change their mind, they got to step outside. You see?
This old street jokes. Oh, come on, man! You're getting the can on those.
Hey, I'm not trying to be a comedian. I'm not a comedian. I'm a preacher. But the truth of the matter is that you can have an intelligent platform. That's why guys like Levin and those guys that run those 1 hour programs on Fox and different places that they get those. They don't need callers to call in. It's an intelligent conversation. People want to hear that, and they will sit and they will listen. They'll review it. They'll comment on it later. They may email you about it and those things, but they'll be there listening. I will sit and listen. Other people will sit and listen to intelligent conversation. But when you got a guy calling in telling me he's about the Ethiopian Revolution and he's got the same comment for the last year, I want to hear something intelligent myself. I'm not interested in some guy who's going to come on, hey man, what'd you do with a knife? Shut up. Well, get an intelligent thought. And why do I need that guy? You know what I mean? So I think that's what you ought to do if you want to know.
Yeah, and this conspiracy theory stuff, they're gonna, this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen. Well, look, we know the world's going to hell in a handbasket, but a lot of people calling in and feeding us a lot of crap over the past few months with, this is gonna happen and whatnot. And yeah, I get all that, but at the same time, what's gonna happen? Nothing.
I'm gonna tell you why they fed you that crap. You want to know why they fed you that crap? Because you were starting to get too close to the truth. So they wanted to discredit you.
Maybe.
And in order to discredit you, they fed you a lot of stuff that you thought they were good people. And then you found out that they were liars. You didn't expose them for being the liars that they are. You just backed away from them. You showed them that you had more integrity, more courage, and more sense. Okay?
Yeah.
So shame on them. Everybody knows who they are. All right, and don't tell me you're the free governor of such and such state, because you ain't free of nothing. You're paying tax just like I am. All right, it's like them bunch of guys that told you don't wear a seatbelt and don't wear, and you could fight it. You could fight. Yeah, you'll fight it from in prison. That's where you'll fight it from, and they'll help you file a piece of paper or tell you how to do it. I was in a federal prison with a posse up there from Minnesota. They were running around with, paper license plates and weren't going to pay their taxes. But I'll tell you, where I met them in prison, by the way. So, cut it out.
Yeah.
So the truth of the matter is you got close to some real heavy truths, and some of the guests that you had were real people, and the rest of them came in and said, we got to discredit this guy because he's too close to the truth and he'll expose us. And then the problem with exposing them comes the danger of your life. And so instead of these guys gratitude towards you, that you had the courage to step into a place, even with Lisa Mitchell and that situation up there, because she's disappeared off the map. Nobody even knows whether she's alive or dead. And she was exposing judges and different people that were involved in the peddling children, and right out of the state homes. And so when you started getting close to those items and you started touching those things, these guys that are listening, the ones that are calling in and making fun of you, they should have really sat back and said, you know what? Joe's got a lot of heart. He's got a lot of heart for what he's doing. He's got a wife. He's got children. He's putting himself in danger to help people like Lisa Mitchell. And you know what? They ought to be ashamed of themselves. But their intelligence level can't handle that. You see, it's like when you were in prison and you remember the correctional officers, you'd get in a conversation with a correctional officer, and the minute you got above their intelligence, it turned to violence. You see, and it was they became violent because they ran out of wit. So this is what's happened here, and I respect you for it. There's a lot of things I don't care about. Some of the program and some of the language, some of the things I've heard, because at times I have church people listening, and and I tell them go to Joe's program, and they hear some stuff, and they say to me, "Are you crazy?" And so, but I understand it's an open forum. But I think, Joe, you can continue down the road. There's other subjects that are important to people. Look at take for in the state of Connecticut here. Pedro's mother just died, and she was in a convalescent home. Somebody ought to investigate some of that. And here's the suckers up here are so bad that he bought flowers for his mother for Mother's Day, called the florist shop and said, you don't need to deliver them. My mother died. And they said, well, that's too bad. You don't get a refund.
Oh, my Lord. That's sad. Oh, wow. So Pedro's mom died. Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. And that's the thing. You're absolutely right. Those are real issues. That those are things that where credibility can be brought, real people to the show. You're absolutely right.
Well,
that's
he's
sad. That really is.
The attorneys jumped on the convalescent home because the doctors at St. Francis Hospital, when his mother got there, the doctors called Pedro and talked to him, explained his mother passed away, and they said, we don't know why this convalescent home waited this long to bring your mother to us.
Wow.
So, there's a big crisis up here. There's a lot of people throughout the country. And veterans homes. And so those are subjects, those are some interesting subjects that are going on. Those two guys, kill that guy down there from the back of the pickup truck. Those are subjects. But there's a lot of political subjects and some other subjects that everybody's interested in. And I'd love to listen to somebody who's got some answers or might have some answers, talk to you on an intelligent level about this. Why who oversees these convalescent homes in these different states? And why is the death toll in those convalescent homes so high? And you know what?
Yeah.
It's like Pedro's a freelance writer, and he's written many articles. Here's a subject you ought to get somebody from the Department of Correction or the state police in the state of Connecticut on your radio program and ask them how come the sex offender registration has 900 people that are in non-compliance right now. And by the way, Pedro had an article in the Hartford Current and the Journal Inquirer, and the article was about this. Do you know the manpower? I would like the answer too. Do you know the manpower it would take to track down 1,000 people? If you put 2 police officers on it, you'd need 2,000 cops just to chase these guys down. And how fair is that for the guys that are complying with the law and are registering? and yet there's 2,000 guys that are running around, and the politicians in this state and every state in the union are saying that we need these registries. And don't worry, you'll all.
They're going to disconnect me, Peter, in about a minute. So go ahead. They're going to just shut me down though. But some final words from me, if you don't mind, real quick.
Well, you'll all be on a registry soon, whether it's for